Hello, everyone. My name's Cash Miller. I'm the host of Emerging Brands Franchises on the Rise. I'm also the CEO of Titan Media Works. We do podcast production. Today, I got with me Chad Coulter. He's with Biscuit Belly. We're going to be talking food, biscuits. Everybody loves biscuits. There are so many kind of fast casual concepts coming along that are just, some of the food out there is like incredible with these concepts. Biscuit Bellies, like we love morning food. There should be more of those kinds of concepts. Chad, it's great having you on. Tell us a bit about like the concept. Why did you get into it and such? Give us the backstory here.
Yeah. I'll kind of give you the backstory first. My wife and I are both pharmacists. We kind of got the entrepreneurial itch. And 2011, I guess it was, we opened a couple of painting and drinking spots. That then spawned into our own concept called Luvino, which was a kind of higher end wine bar, small plates, Southern tapas type of restaurant. We grew that to 5 locations in 3 states, ended up selling that. And while we still own that, my chef and I, probably from month 3 or 2 of opening Luvino in 2014, we've always talked about this biscuit thing. And myself, being from Georgia, it's part of the food pyramid, and the biscuits, that is. And you go to any little small town, little gas station or restaurant, there's these big, greasy biscuit sandwiches. So always kind of resonated with me, and I thought that we could make something, a little bit more higher end and gourmet. So in 2018, we started putting all the pieces together, came up with the name, the logo, the menu, color scheme, all that stuff, and opened our first one in 2019 in Louisville, Kentucky. The concept itself is a fast casual. We sometimes like to call it craft casual brand. And then we have a queue line. You order at the counter, you get a number, you take a seat. It's very full service after that. So we are busting the tables, running food, running drinks. We have about 8 to 10 craft cocktails that are brunch focused. We are a predominantly scratch made kitchen, so hence the word craft. So yeah. we're making biscuits every day, and obviously the concept revolves around the biscuit sandwich and the biscuit itself. However, we've done a lot of innovation and work to expand our menu, especially this year, into some healthier options, more lunch friendly, like sandwiches and whatnot. And as well, we just basically relaunched our catering program, which is really done well for us thus far.
That's cool. Yeah, I think, here's one, like, there are so many people in America that we love breakfast, but we often don't want to eat at breakfast time. Like I will have breakfast for lunch, dinner, like it's some of the best dishes and things. And I love that, especially when it comes to biscuits and things, there are so many things you can do with that as like your base for a food concept and stuff. What are the operating hours? Yeah. Like when are you serving people, during the day?
Yeah. So we are open some stores open at 7, majority open at 7:30. And then we close at either 2 or 3, depending on the day.
Yeah.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are open a little bit longer because, that's where most of our business is coming.
Yeah. I think, like I say, it makes for an interesting concept for a restaurant because of those hours. There's so many restaurants, like they might serve breakfast, lunch, dinner, but also if you're just doing like lunch and dinner, they open at 11 o'clock, but you're there late, versus be there a little earlier, but you're out by 2. I think that from an ownership standpoint is attractive because yes, you're going to be there a little later, not just because the doors are closed, and stuff, there's always something to do to get ready for the next day and things. But I think it has a little bit better work-life balance, from that standpoint, because restaurants are not easy to run. They're difficult, right?
Yeah. So and I'll say that it is much easier to hire and retain employees and find franchisees because, especially if you're going to be maybe a single unit or maybe have a couple, you're able to be home, 4 o'clock, pretty much by 4 o'clock p.m.
Yeah.
every day. And so that's pretty unheard of in the restaurant business. And we have a majority female employees too. It's great for the working parent who has just had a career in restaurants, and that's what they want to continue to do. And it's a
Yeah.
nice family, and yeah, like you said, work life balance standpoint.
Yeah, so I think that part is really good too, because they say restaurant owners, in my opinion, are some of the hardest working, people, entrepreneurs that we have, in America. Because I mean, it's a lot of work, but it can be very rewarding too, from a financial standpoint, but also like, I would assume from a franchisee standpoint, if you're getting into this, I mean, you really love, the concept, you love the idea of, food being what you're selling, things like that. Who's your like ideal franchisee when you're dealing with people? Who are you usually looking for that makes a good owner?
Yeah. So we are looking for individuals with multi-unit restaurant experience. So they're in a couple different brands, let's say, and maybe they want to add brunch or breakfast to their portfolio.
Hmm.
And we're looking for individuals and groups that have really had some full service background. Because again, even though we call ourselves fast casual or craft casual, if you will, a little term that we've coined, it still is very full service. It's still a scratch made kitchen. We have a 20-foot hood. I mean, it's all made to order. There's no, it's not like you're getting Chipotle. You just go down the line, everything's there. You just, scoop and plop, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything's made to order. And so, I think we're really looking for more of that made from scratch, full service type of experience.
Hmm.
Just because that's really what we are, even though, we have a slightly different format.
Yeah. Let's talk menu. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you what's on the menu, because I'm sure you got some awesome dishes that, really draw in those crowds, especially, the weekends, of course, there's a reason that people go to these kinds of restaurants, because like there are not a ton of concepts that focus like you do on that, biscuits as being one of the main things, breakfast dishes. And what's the menu? What are some of your best options, that people just love?
Yeah, I'd say our number one seller, and we have kind of fun, unique names for everything, but one of our dishes, we call it the Rockwell Supreme. That's named after our chef that helped create the menu. His last name is Rockwell, but kind of a tip to the hat for him. But it's a biscuit sandwich. It's got fried chicken, our proprietary gravy that is our kind of secret recipe, an over easy egg and bacon, all piled up. It's a good probably 8 inches tall or so. And it's got a knife through the center of it to keep it all, steak knife to keep it all together. But that's a very popular one. We have we call loaded tots. So won't tell you everything that goes in them, but they're basically a deep fried hash brown pancake mix and sausage concoction.
Wow.
That we kind of scoop and drop into the fryer, and it's served with a sweet maple aioli. But again, we have those are just kind of two examples.
Yeah.
We have fun with the menu and the sandwiches, and try to be unique and have stuff you can't get everywhere. And that's what I think sets us apart from your kind of more traditional. And nothing against these guys, but like the Denny's, the Waffle House, the Shoney's, IHOP, whatever. It's kind of the same bacon, egg, and cheese, pancakes, waffles, and omelets, etc. So, we have things that you're not going to be able to find everywhere else, and I think that's why you see lines out the door.
Yeah, no, I think that is like great, because you're right. You don't find these kinds of food concepts all over the place. And I know I've been to a rival, because we don't have, your concept in the area. But when I ordered, I'm like, I see this like stack. I'm like, how do you eat this thing? Like but it's also, yeah. Yeah, fork and knife, exactly. Because it's like, but it is a lot of your staples, favorite foods, but it's crafted in such a way that you get a whole different flavor combination when you're eating it. It's not, it's I mean, it's like really good. It's definitely great comfort food. Yeah, like, and you will leave stuffed.
Yeah, you typically, when you have breakfast with us at 9 or 10 in the morning, typically do not need lunch. So it's a
Yeah.
considered a value meal, right?
Mhm.
You get two meals in one. So,
Yeah.
but again, we have leaned into some healthier options, like the like a build your own breakfast bowl, so you can
Mm.
choose grits or home fries, and you can choose a protein, choose avocado or egg or
Okay.
spinach, cheese, sauce, and those have done well for us.
Mm.
So we're really trying to expand outside of the biscuit because we know not everyone wants a huge biscuit
Yeah.
sandwich every day. So.
Yeah, right. So let me ask you, you said you guys started like 2019 on this concept. Yeah, great timing, by the way. We ended up with a pandemic. So how has the growth been? Because like I say, you started there and you go into the pandemic. I'm sure that slowed things down a bit because it was restaurants and everything. But so how are things going now with the business?
Things are going good. We've got a busy year in front of us next year. Just to kind of give you an idea of our store count here, we've got essentially five groups, and we're talking to a few others as well to bring on in early next year. But essentially five groups, six to seven different territories between those groups, and we're actually about to open our 10th location, friends and family, this upcoming weekend in Lexington, Kentucky will be our second location there. And then
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. So we're in the double digits now.
Okay.
So that's fun to talk about. And then pretty front loaded on the first half of next year as far as store openings. We'll probably open another uh, 5 to 6, before August of next year, and we're looking at a couple of other territories for some more like corporate or joint venture stores as well that we've raised some money for. So we're looking at Northern Virginia, kind of outside of DC,
Hmm.
just to continue on with just our stores within Virginia. So that's what we're doing now. Again, I think we'll end up next year with somewhere between 16 and 20 units. So we're essentially doubling in size in the
Nice.
next 12 months or so. We hired a franchise development team called Oak Scale.
Hmm.
So they are, just very active in the sales process, sales and marketing, to get the name in front of other multi-unit restaurant
Hmm.
operators and just tell them what we're all about.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's exciting. You got some really good growth going on, and you know, definitely spreading the brand. So let's talk investment then. Since you've got all these stores opening, what's it take? Yeah, what's the franchise investment look like from the franchise fees to store build outs and things like that? What kind of numbers are we talking when a franchisee wants to invest? What are they looking at?
Yeah, and I don't have my FDD in front of me, to give you exact numbers, but you're looking at high 600,000 upwards to low $1 million ranges. Just depends on how much money you get from the landlord from a tenant improvement allowance,
Okay,
where you're going, how much operating capital, all that stuff. I mean, to get the store built out, equipped, signage, just the soft and hard cost to actually do the store, net of your tenant improvement allowance, you're looking at anywhere from 650 to $800,000.
okay,
And our FDD spells out just all the extra
sure,
costs for the franchise
yeah,
fee,
right.
operating capital, legal fees, all the rest of the stuff that comes along with it, training and all that. Um, so yeah, I mean, restaurants, between construction and equipment costs have definitely increased a pretty good
Yeah.
chunk the last few years with the supply chain and whatnot. So
Well, what are the size of the stores typically? And also, are they usually standalone locations? Like, what's the ideal location place that you're usually looking for? Because I know with a lot of franchises, a lot of times they're going to help identify what would be, potentially a successful, location in whatever city. You got the demographics and everything. You're going to have access to the data. So, what does that typically, like say, what's that square footage look like? Where's the ideal space? Are they doing the build out, building, ground up stores, or are they finding ideal spots? What does it look like?
Yes. So our square footage, we're looking at 2,600 to 3,200 square feet. And we like end caps in, small centers that are maybe, out front on the road that are in front of larger centers, like maybe grocery anchored
Okay.
centers behind. Also, we've had a decent success with more urban sites as well. So, that are around, either mixed use or around other, retail establishments. So, I mean, we really, I can't say, well, hey, we're going to go to this specific site for now on, because
Yeah.
it's been kind of a mixed bag as far as
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
success of stores, and obviously visibility and all that. But we've definitely gotten a lot smarter. We use a master broker outside of Chicago, and they have a scoring system that kind
Hmm,
of ranks
that's
based on
interesting.
several different kind of proprietary things, and so far it's actually been pretty correct. So we're going to continue to use that, and
Hmm.
be able to somewhat predict store viability before the location's built. So so yeah, we're definitely leaning into the data side, but it's also just ingress, egress. I mean, there's so many other factors that goes into a location, and then
Yeah,
once the location's picked out, you got to make sure it's operated properly into brand standards. So, which is a
sure.
whole other, within a franchise system is a whole other thing to
Hmm.
tackle.
Yeah, it definitely is. So the stores, they're of a decent size, but like I say, it's fast casual, so you don't have to be, super huge. That's good. And that keeps your build out a little, in that range of what you're talking about. What is the training? So the franchisee, okay, we're going to be opening our doors. What's the process look like? And also, what is the typical staff number that you need to actually operate a store?
Yeah. So the typical staff number at peak, we'll typically have around 16 to 18 people, and those
Okay.
are typically like your Saturday, Sundays. So you're typically looking at low 20s, because again, the beauty of it is it's one menu, one day part, one shift,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
there's no worry of having to hire double that just to cover two shifts. So it's a very very tight staff. A lot of them are full time employees, and then we kind of supplement on the weekends for days off and whatnot. With high school kids or
Yeah.
other individuals just looking for
Yeah.
a job.
Yeah, part-timers, looking for maybe their first job or something to supplement income and things, and that helps the overall staffing. So in the training side, like I said, yeah, especially before, like, when you're getting ready to open that store, because you've got training of employees, but you also have training of the people that are gonna manage the stores and, of course, the franchisee, what they've gotta go through. And then also ongoing, so, if is there any training that takes place? Because at times you're gonna have staff turnover. It may not be necessary. You have existing staff that could train them, so what does an owner have to go through?
Yes. So the owner or their like designated representative would go through about 4 weeks of training at one of our certified training center
Okay,
restaurants. And then we send a staff of about 6 to 7 to the new store opening.
okay.
And we train the franchisees new staff alongside of them. So, and we're there. We'll do about 5 to 6 days of hands-on hip-to-hip training with our staff and theirs, and then we'll do like our friends and family, couple of friends and family days,
Okay.
and we'll do a kind of actual public opening or grand opening
Hmm.
that next week, and then we leave people there, probably about 3 to 4 people through that whole extra week. So we've got people there for 10 to 14 days
Yeah.
total.
Yeah, make sure it
And
doesn't all fall apart when it opens up because everybody's, I mean, because if you got a line out the door, if you've built expectation, boy, that all that new staff could get crushed. They need some seasoned help to make sure they can, that it goes smoothly.
exactly. So that's why we do it. We don't want to leave people. I mean, because again, it's not the easiest concept
Hmm.
uh, for a lot of people because it is relatively scratch made, and we're making just about everything at house. Um, and it's when you hit those peaks, I mean, you're doing $2,000 plus hours, especially when you first open.
Yeah.
So it can be pretty crazy. So
Hmm.
we don't want everything to fall apart and staff to get discouraged, and
Yeah.
brand reputation is on the line too, which is
Yeah.
imperative for us at this size. So we rather overtrain, over deliver on the opening versus just piecing out.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. How long does it take from the time of signing paperwork saying, "Hey, we're going to be a franchise," to actually get a store open? What's the length of time for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long process. If you sign papers today, assuming you don't have a site already picked out, but generally where you want to go, I mean, it's really that can take anywhere from a couple of months to over a year just to find a spot. And
Wow.
then, and a majority of franchisees, they're not going to, if you sign a 5 unit deal, a 10 unit deal, they're
Mm.
obviously not going to do all those at once.
No,
They're
of
going to
course not.
probably do one or two, see how they go, and see if they want to do the rest. So, you got to take that into consideration too. But yeah, just to do one store, it's going to be several months to find a spot, negotiate a lease, and again, one of the tightest real estate markets we've seen right now. And
Mm.
so, to find that good spot, you're sometimes going to have to wait. So once you find a spot, lease is signed. You're looking at probably around 60 days to 75 days to get your construction drawings, MEPs ready to go to permitting. Permitting varies by jurisdiction. That can take
Hmm.
another couple months. So now you're about 5 months in after your lease is signed,
Whew.
and then you start construction, and so that's going to be another 3 to 4 months.
Mm.
So uh, it from when you sign the lease to when you open, I mean, you're looking at about 10 months, give
Yeah.
or take 9 to 12 months. So it can take quite a bit of time.
Yeah. How do you build buzz, for it when it's, getting ready to open and stuff so that that first day when you're open to the public, you've got those crowds.
Yeah, we do a lot of part of our training is going out and kind of feeding the community. So all the food that we're cooking, we're getting out there, doing some local store marketing, and getting out there and just kind of giving people samples, free samples, if you will.
Mm.
So we do that. We lean into heavily on the influencer side and host
Mm.
influencers on our friends and family day or the first few weeks of training.
Got it.
Uh, Obviously, press releases locally and nationally. I mean, those are the big things.
Yeah.
Contests, just to kind of get the word out. But those are the big 3 or 4 things that have worked well for us.
Cool. Okay. And then, so here's the biggest question. Yeah. From a sales standpoint, what are they capable of doing? I mean, I know they're going to vary based on market and stuff, but what have you seen as kind of the average or even just, the best performing stores?
Yeah, I mean, our average right now is about 135, 1 million
Okay.
50,000. Some of the better stores are doing 1.6, 1.7. So you kind of have a nice range there of $1 million to 1.6, 1.7.
Yeah.
So again, we've gotten a lot smarter with our real estate, and we hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm obviously not guaranteeing this by any means, but
Yeah.
we feel like our next stores we've just gotten smarter with site selection. We know what we're looking for now. We've gotten better from from a training standpoint. We hired a 25-year veteran of Texas Roadhouse
Mm,
to come in as our VP of training, and she's done wonders for us from a training standpoint. And we just upgraded our operators as well
yeah.
on the corporate side and our joint venture side. So um, we've seen a dramatic increase in just what we've been able to give the franchisees, and we've invested a lot of money in people. We are very top heavy right now because we know the growth is coming, and we feel like we have kind of one chance to get this right.
Yeah.
There's not many things we can do to we can't screw it up and then rebuild it, right? Like we got to get it right this one time, and we've heavily invested in people, and we feel like that's really what sets us apart from other emerging franchise brands is just the
Mm,
experience that our people bring. And again, me going from a pharmacy background to restaurant, I sure as heck don't know as much as some of these other people, and I don't pretend to. So we are all about hiring the right people that fit within the culture, and I just have the experience of growing a brand, and that's another thing that we found is that person that may look good on paper that has been at, call it Panera, Cracker Barrel, or wherever at store, several hundred to 2,000 or 2,000 to 4,000. Those aren't the people that we need right now. We need the people that have actually built from the ground up these
mhm.
restaurant concepts, and that's who we have on our team, and upgrading and rethinking who that executive needs to be that startup executive, not that person that's running things from an office,
Yeah.
uh, at the corporate headquarters. So that's really one of the main learnings that we've had over the past few years, and have heavily invested into those people.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's great because I think, you're bringing on, a lot of experienced industry veterans, whether it's franchise or restaurant development. I think that's really important. And also that focus on some of these groups that are, that can buy into the concept, but they're going to bring a lot of experience if they're operating other concepts. So I think that's important. Plus, you have background in restaurants, regardless of
Yeah,
where got your start, you built up a restaurant business. You were able to exit that business successfully and then start this. So you're bringing a wealth of experience actually too, which is obviously if you're going to be in the top position, you want that.
yeah,
So I think
yeah.
potential franchisees, can have a lot of confidence in the concept and also the leadership.
Yeah, no, I think they do, and I think that's how we've signed on some pretty big fish early on, is because
Mm.
they see the team. And another thing I didn't mention, our sole partner in this was at Papa John's, basically from store zero to 3,500.
Oh
So
wow.
he's actually brother of John Schnatter of Papa John's. So
Mm.
he was there as general counsel. He ran franchising. He had wore many different hats, and is pretty involved in the just overall strategy and whatnot with us. So we have a decent amount of knowledge on the team from the ownership and executive level. So yeah, we
Yeah.
feel really good about where we are. And then again, we're gonna double in size between now and the end of next year, and we're just kind of looking forward to see what these new stores can do. And
Mm.
I feel like this is an exciting potential growth spot for us to be able to hockey stick and really get some acceleration and growth next year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You're at an exciting point, in what'll be your company's history, to going forward. I mean, going to double in growth, but you've also got all of these industry veterans. I mean, you brought on some, people that really have to know their stuff, based on, what their backgrounds are. That's really, I mean, from a franchisee's point of view, it's invaluable. You can have confidence that you're buying into this concept, but the people running it, they know what they're doing. And that's, there's a lot of franchises out there, and some of them don't know, they really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't, and I feel like we do, and we've had some hiccups, and it is a totally different ball game running your corporate stores and running a franchise. Is two very different business models, and so we've got people that have done both, and yeah, I think we're on to something here. We'll next year will kind of be the do or die, if you will, but we're pretty confident that we'll see some really good results next year with what all we're doing, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, definitely get a store down here in Tennessee, in the Middle Tennessee area, as quick as you can. I mean, you're right across the border. I know you can make it happen. This has been great, Chad. How would people that want to inquire about owning a franchise, how would they get a hold of you? Where should they go for the information?
Yeah, our website, our consumer-based website is just biscuitbelly.com, and our franchising website is biscuitbellyfranchise.com. So they can go on there, explore, see pictures, menu items, some general financial information, and they can submit a lead request, and that goes to our franchise development team. So they then would reach out to them and schedule just an initial call, get an application submitted, and then typically by the second phone call, we're typically either me and my wife Lauren, or myself and Chuck would be on the call, just because we feel like having the founders present very early on is very special versus maybe just a salesperson. So
yeah,
we like to get in pretty early on into the concept and these conversations.
Okay. Well, it's been great having you on. I've enjoyed talking, breakfast. Like I say, if you're looking for a breakfast concept or a restaurant one, this is a great opportunity. Biscuit Belly is on the rise. It's growing. There's a lot of great leadership in place. So, you can have confidence in the amount of experience that they bring. It's always good if you're in especially the restaurant space, because it is, there's always challenges. You want to be paired up, with seasoned operators. That's going to make you way more successful. You're going to have a way better experience. This is a franchise you should check out. Thank you for tuning in. My name's Cash Miller. I'm the CEO of Titan Media Works. We do podcast production. I'm the host of Emerging Brands, Franchises on the Rise. We'll see you on the next episode.